Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy, man. So I was just chilling, eating a grilled chicken, Weight Watchers wrap. And, there was no flavor to it, man. Watching the weight and stuff like that, so you can't get crazy out there, right, man? So I'm just sitting there eating that wrap, and just straight up chilling. And the day was kind of boring. Nothing was really going on. And a Woj bomb came through, guys. The Detroit Pistons are finalizing a deal with Troy Weaver to make him the franchise's new general manager, sources tell ESPN, guys. Weaver has been the VP of basketball operations with the OKC Thunder. And I confirmed that he has been the VP or, part of the organization since 2008, man. And I will say, I am so damn excited for this. For so many reasons. So many reasons I want to get into, guys. Guys, please, man. Y'all gotta drop a like on this video, guys, okay, man? Like, me as a Pistons fan, I've been suffering for a long damn time here, guys. This is like some sort of hope for us. Finally, man. And I'm gonna explain, okay? First, let's go through some more, Woj is right here, see if there's anything else he said since I checked that out. And it says, Weaver's key role in OKC, strong history of player personnel decision, made him one of the favorites for the start of the search. Yep, Weaver is the fourth OKC executive under Sam Presti to leave for a GM job, including Rob Hennigan and Michael Winger. All right, I don't really know how those guys have done. If you guys can let me know in the comment section below how they performed. Troy Weaver will become the 9th current Black GM in the NBA. That's a big-time W. And will work with senior advisor Ed Stefanski running the Pistons. Weaver's route to GM is groundbreaking. A high-profile AAU program to Syracuse, assistant NBA scout for a dozen years, and executive with the Thunder. Man, this dude's out here, man, just making dreams happen, guys. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it, man. Weaver played a huge role in identifying several top Thunder draft prospects, including UCLA's Russell Westbrook at number 4 in 2008. When few considered him that elite of prospect. Absolutely love that, man. The Pistons have been atrocious in drafting for a very long time now, guys. Every now and then there's like an Andre Drummond, but for the most part, it's been a lot of Kyle Singlers, guys. It's been a lot of Kyle Singlers. Even Andre Drummond, like, that's really the best we got over the years. And even him, it's like, what did it really lead to? It's like they have yet been able to go out there and draft that guy that would make this franchise, next level. And of course, the Pistons have gotten guys like Chris Middleton and Spencer Dinwiddie, but that's useless if you trade those guys away, right? What I like about Troy Weaver here is it seems like he can not only spot potential, but he also knows how to give them a chance. He knows how to not just, this could be a good player, but, let's give him a chance, man. Pistons for years have just not given the right chances to the right players, right, man? So what I want to look at real quick here is the OKC Thunder's draft history. I'm going to move my bitch ass self out of the way. Actually, let's just put it right there. It's all fine, man. It's all good, right? And see what he's done since 2008. He's been for the franchise that long. So by the look of things, he's been we all know the Thunder have been pretty good drafters, right? Like, they've always gotten solid players. 2019, they got Brandon Clark. Of course, he was traded to Memphis. That's obviously was an L in hindsight, but I don't remember what that trade was exactly. Devon Hall and Kevin Hervey, okay, not great, but still early on, plus second round draft picks. 53rd pick, 57th pick. Not really played a lot, played a few games out there, and yeah, those are second round picks. They have any first round picks. Not a big deal. Terrence Ferguson, I will say Terrence Ferguson, he's started at the small forward position a little bit. He's played he's kind of garbage, but I think he can get better, guys. I still feel like Terrence Ferguson is probably a few years away anyway. Although a few years ago is when he got drafted, so it's been a few years away. Cameron Payne, Dakari Johnson, yeah, okay, recently not all that great, but a lot of, Cameron Payne at 14th was kind of an L. Mitch McGary was actually a nice pick. It's just Mitch McGary didn't take himself seriously, right? Like Mitch McGary, if he would have actually tried, he would have been the perfect big guy for today's NBA. He had, he had really good coordination on the court and stuff like that, man. Very versatile. He was great for Michigan. I watched, so much of him, but he just didn't really take the game seriously. So not really, their fault for that happening. Steven Adams, 12th pick. That was a very nice pick right there. Steven Adams, just one of those type of centers you want on a championship team. Archie Goodwin, Alex Abrinas. Alex Abrinas was a decent three-point shooter, but, didn't really pan all that much. Perry Jones with the 28th pick. And later in the draft, Reggie Jackson. Starting caliber point guard for the Pistons. And now, a very serviceable NBA player. And this is where you start getting a little bit more W's out there. Eric Bledsoe, of course, the 18th pick. That was a nice trade to the Clippers. Craig Bracken, my name's Craig, so that's cool. Craig with a K. I mean, Craig, let's see who wants to be that, right? Quincy Pondexter was like a decent role player. Magnus Role. It's got a cool name. And then you get to the W's. James Harden with the 3rd pick in the draft. We got Rodrigue Bobeas right here, who was actually really solid for like a season on the Dallas Mavericks. Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka with the 24th pick. This is the big thing right here. It's like, when you have these picks that are like second rounders or late, it's kind of hard to land a star. But what I like is this guy has nailed it on the damn bitch ass head, guys, when he has the top pick. And that's always the worst part, is when you have a top 5, top 10 pick and it doesn't pan out. But he's landed every single time he's had one. I mean, every single time it was at least a top 10. And there's only 2 of them, Russell Westbrook and James Harden. But still. Kevin Durant, I don't think he was part of that. Maybe he was part of the organization at that time, but regardless. But yes, let me go ahead and put this back right here. Hopefully you guys saw that. I don't know if he actually showed up or not, but I kind of spoke it out anyway. All right. This is what I like most about this guy already, is that let's talk about the Detroit Pistons where things started going wrong. And let's compare that to the OKC Thunder situation, right? Okay, so when things started going wrong for the Pistons is when they traded Sean Billups from Allen Iverson. And at that point, they decided, which I will say at that time, watching Piston games, the season they actually traded him for Iverson, they started off 5-0, but you were getting that sense where it was going to be another season of, getting pretty far, but never far enough. So the Pistons were trying to make a big-time move. Obviously, it definitely did backfire. And I think all of us Piston fans, we recognize now that, you got to... we got to so many Eastern Conference Finals. We didn't get to the finals every single year, but just getting to like 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals is a pretty damn, impressive thing. That's what my father always told me. He's like, yo, Craig, or Crispy. He didn't call me Crispy, but he says, one day the Pistons are going to be winning like this. And I know it's upsetting they don't get to the finals every year, but the fact they're winning this many games, that's hell of impressive, right, guys? It's very impressive, right? But then they traded Chauncey for Iverson, and then that kind of turned into some turmoil between Iverson and Rip, because those guys couldn't really play together, so they decided between that, and then eventually, Iverson wasn't on the team anymore, and, Rip Hamilton went to the Bulls, Ben Wallace was gone, Rasheed Wallace was gone, Tayshaun Prince stuck around very long, but eventually, the franchise was just completely different. He went to the Memphis Grizzlies. Bad drafts out there, choosing Rodney Stuckey over Aaron Aflalo in another case of giving the chance to the wrong player. And just so many other things over the years. So yes, when things when things started going south, when they had their big players leave, we haven't rebounded back from it, man. I've said it's been a lot of Kyle Singlers out there, as opposed to Troy Weaver and the OKC Thunder. Let's talk about bad things that have happened to that franchise. Okay, the first one was trading away James Harden instead of Serge Ibaka. Or I guess, I don't remember. Yeah, it was a trade. I mean, yeah, that absolutely sucked. Now, luckily for them, they did have Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. So, if it would have just been James Harden on the team, they would have made that happen. Then yes, it probably would have would have really set the franchise back. But no, they were cool with Russell and Kevin Durant. And then eventually, Kevin Durant leaves after a 3-1 loss, and it was just absolutely horrendous, for OKC Thunder fans. But they still put together a nice squad. They didn't give up. They didn't just, ship off Russell Westbrook, right? They built around Russell Westbrook, and yes, Russell Westbrook didn't lead them to a championship, but that's really tough to do. I mean, the man averaged triple-double, right? It's like they still fought, regardless. They didn't just decide, okay, we're going to be, we're going to trade away all of our assets and be last in the NBA. And then eventually, they get Paul George on the team with Russell Westbrook, and, I'll just kind of sum up how that ends to, Damian Lillard, right? But even with that, after that shot, Paul George ended up going to the Clippers. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Like, we all thought he was going to re-sign with the OKC Thunder. That's another thing that's just a huge blow to a franchise. And then, with that being said, it's like, okay, well, Paul George is gone. We don't really want to go through all this with Russell Westbrook again. We kind of know what that's like. So they trade away Russell Westbrook to the Houston Rockets, right? So essentially, over the course of the past 10 years, they have lost 4 top superstar players in the NBA. And like Paul George, probably not a top 10 player over the past years, like some of these other guys definitely were. But still a guy that was coming off his best season ever, right? And where are they at now? They have 20 billion first-round draft picks. They have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's going to be one of the best guards in the entire NBA. They have a team that is competitive, where it's still fun to watch the games, but also they get the blessing of having all these draft picks and still being in a kind of rebuild. Because usually when you're a rebuild, your team's bad, right? But they have all these draft picks. They can still go out there and put out a good product on the court with Chris Paul. They took a chance on Chris Paul. Obviously, a lot of people thought that was going to be a bad contract. But, I mean, it's not a great contract. But it's still, you know, he's on the team and he was an all-star player, right? I mean, you got Gallinari. He's fine. I'm just saying, what I'm trying to get at here is they didn't give up. And once things got bad for the Pistons, and once bad draft choices happened, and once bad free agency signings happened, you know, Charlie V, Ben Gordon, they gave up. And we've lost our fight over the years. And what I absolutely love about this is Mr. Troy Weaver. You can tell right by his story right here, man. You know, from a AAU program to a Syracuse assistant, NBA scout, basketball operations, and now a general manager. This guy has fight. And damn, if that's not what we need, guys. If that's not what we need,